Hi everyone, welcome back to the Astrology channel, and if you're new here, welcome. My name is Kaylin and today we're going to be looking at your August 2025 horoscope. This is a tropical Western astrological reading and you can watch your horoscope for your ascendant, sun and moon sign. However, if you've only got time to watch one horoscope today, then I would start off with your ascendant sign, which is also known as your rising sign. If you're wanting to see more astrological content and updates from me, please feel free to check out my Instagram and Facebook accounts. It's the same handle, which is Astrology. Without further ado though, let's get into your August horoscope. Hi Aquarius Sun, Moon and Risings, welcome to your August 2025 horoscope. Let's start off by looking at career and business for you. So first of all, Mercury will be in Leo in your 7th house for the whole month. The 7th house in astrology is one of the business houses. So it rules over our one-to-one relationships, sales, client contracts, negotiations, and so on and so forth. So Mercury is actually retrograde as we enter the month, and it will be retrograde up until the 11th of August. So many of you may be speaking to or hearing from clients from the past. If you are working on sales or closing out certain contracts, there may be delays here or a shifting of the goalposts. If something seems like a sure thing in the way of signing on a client, Mercury retrograde can kind of turn things on its head. In saying that, on the 1st of August, the Sun and Mercury will form a conjunction at 9 degrees Leo in your 7th house. And of course, Mercury will be retrograde here. So an important conversation with a client or regarding a sale or a contract may be had within pretty much the first 24, maybe even 48 hours of the month commencing. Also, we've got a full moon occurring in your sign on the 9th of August. So that'll be at 16 degrees Aquarius. So this can indicate that some of you Aquarians may be completing an important work project, maybe achieving a career milestone, or there could be cause for celebration for you professionally speaking, especially if you're an Aquarius Sun or Aquarius Rising, or perhaps this is marking the end of a chapter in your career. So I repeat, the full moon is on the 9th of August, but the effects can be felt even like a week before or after the full moon. So also we've got the Sun transiting Leo in your 7th house for the first 3 weeks of the month. So this can lead to a lot of growth and expansion in your client relationships or in your one-to-one professional relationships. And also on the 12th of August, we're going to have the annual Venus-Jupiter conjunction take place, but this time it'll be in the sign of Cancer and in your 6th house. So Jupiter is exalted in the sign of Cancer, which means it loves to be there. And Jupiter hasn't been in the sign of Cancer for 11 to 12 years. So this is a 12-month window that you are currently experiencing that started on the 10th of June and it will conclude on the 30th of June in 2026. So around the 12th of August with the Venus-Jupiter conjunction, there may be some kind of important blessing that comes through with work. So maybe this is an opportunity in the way of a promotion or a dream job of yours, or even if it's just like a contract role or having more responsibility within your workplace, there could very well be something significant that occurs with respect to your work commitments or your professional life around the 12th of August. So lastly, on this front, Venus will enter Leo on the 25th or the 26th of August, depending where you live in the world. And then shortly after that, it'll make a bunch of aspects. So it'll be trining Saturn and Neptune in your 3rd house, and it'll also be sextiling Uranus in Gemini and opposing Pluto in Aquarius in your 1st house. So that's all taking place around the 26th and 27th of August. So there may be new clients that you speak to around this time, a contract that comes through, or a sale that you close, or perhaps there's a collaboration opportunity that you're either being made aware of around that time, or you could be proposing that to another person. And certainly if you have been considering reaching out to someone and proposing a work arrangement or agreement or a collaborative opportunity, then I would pick around the 26th, 27th of August. So now let's have a look at finances and property for you. So Venus in Cancer in your 6th house is going to square Saturn and Neptune in the first few days of the month. So this can indicate that there may be pressure on you to help out possibly a family member, either financially or with your resources. Maybe it can even feel a little bit emotionally manipulative. On a different note though, on the 12th of August, with that Venus-Jupiter conjunction in your 6th house, you could be approved for some kind of loan, or perhaps you are paying off a mortgage or paying off a loan. I do have to say that with Jupiter being in Cancer for the whole month, and then Venus being in Cancer in your 6th house up until almost the very end of the month, I do think that there could be a lot of bills that you have to pay, or a lot of expenses that are coming through this month. On the 23rd of August, Virgo season will commence, and we'll also have a new moon in Virgo at 0 degrees, and it's going to make a tight square to Uranus in Gemini in your 5th house. So this indicates that from the 23rd of August and 4 weeks following that, there's a big focus on your mutual resources. So you could be looking at opening a bank account with another person, or going into a joint investment with another person. Maybe you will be educating yourself about investing, or you could be focusing on your mutual resources. So there may be something coming through here in the way of child support money, the child custody arrangement that you have or that you're looking to have, or perhaps even alimony money, spousal support, or you may be drawing up a will, or perhaps you are made aware of an inheritance or a will, and perhaps that is something that is forthcoming for you. And by the way, it doesn't mean that that person has to have passed. You could even have access to inheritance money early, as an example, or be setting up a trust fund. Okay, so looking at property. On the 9th of August, I repeat, we've got the full moon in Aquarius at 16 degrees in your 1st house. So in astrology, 16 degrees is the Cancer degree, which means it relates to our property and living situation. Because there are some spicy aspects alongside this full moon, there may be an unexpected development as it relates to your property and living situation. Maybe it is someone having to move in, so that could be like a friend who needs to crash on your couch, or a family member, or perhaps someone is moving out of your home and that could take you by surprise. You may have to temporarily relocate, so there could be some kind of repairs or renovations that are happening, and maybe the time frame of that has caught you off guard, or maybe someone is like asking you to look after their property. Maybe that's babysitting or pet sitting or house sitting or what have you. So again, that's the 9th of August, plus or minus 1 to even 2 weeks either side of that full moon. Okay, so we've got Mercury stationing direct at 4 degrees Leo on the 11th of August. 4 degrees is the property degree in astrology because it relates to Cancer energy. So Mercury retrograde in your 7th house could indicate that you may have been rethinking your living situation, and that can cover a range of different things. Am I happy where I'm living? Am I happy with my housemate or my flatmate? Do I need to ask my children to start looking at moving out? Should I offer for them to move in? And if there's been some kind of concern about your living situation or even just confusion, then Mercury stationing direct on the 11th of August can see you actually arriving at a decision finally, right? And maybe you don't action it straight away. Just remember that the post-shadow retrograde period will last until almost the very end of the month, and Mercury will finally be out of your 7th house come early September. Okay, so on the 25th or 26th of August, depending where you live in the world, Venus, which rules over your 4th house of property and home life, is going to enter Leo in your 7th house. So from pretty much the end of August through till around the 18th of September, this could be a time where you may be signing contracts or arriving at a decision and actually being prepared to sign along dotted lines or even make verbal agreements as it relates to your living situation. And maybe this looks like putting an offer in on a property or deciding that you want to sell your property or sublet it, just as an example. So having a look at family life. When we have a full moon in our sign, it can impact us on a number of different levels. If you're an Aquarius sun, this is more likely to be about your career and your big goals and dreams for the future, or perhaps having achieved a big ambition or dream of yours. If you're an Aquarius moon, then the full moon can relate to your property and living situation or your family and your home life and like family relationships or even relationships of all kinds. If you're an Aquarius rising, there's really no distinction here. I digress. The full moon in your sign can relate to family, especially because it is at 16 degrees. So maybe there's an important conversation that you have with a family member. Maybe this is about having a clarifying discussion or burying the hatchet, maybe deciding to reach out to a family member that you haven't spoken to in a long time. Or the shoe could be on the other foot where you are hearing from a family member that you haven't spoken to in quite some time. This can be parents, siblings, or even children as well. Okay, because this full moon is at 16 degrees, maybe you are deciding whether or not you want to start a family or expand your existing family further. This could indicate that you are maybe meeting your significant other's children from a previous relationship or vice versa. Now, Mars will be transiting your 9th house from the 7th of August through till the 21st of September. So it is going to be putting pressure on Saturn and Neptune in your 3rd house. So relationships with your siblings or extended relatives, such as aunties, uncles, cousins, nieces, nephews, could be at the forefront of your mind or somehow be brought into your awareness, especially, I want to say, between about the 7th and the 12th of August. So we've got Mars in Libra, trining Uranus in Gemini, but then opposing Saturn and Neptune in your 3rd house, but also trining Pluto and Aquarius in your 1st house. So I do think that your boundaries may be tested as it relates to relationships with family, but there's also this opportunity to clarify those boundaries or to reinforce them. And I really do think that there's a way to move forward with family relationships that have maybe been previously tumultuous. Having a look at love and relationships. I mean, I have to say your 7th house is activated the whole month, and the 7th house in astrology relates to our relationship with our significant other. So it's more about your serious relationship. And to me, a serious relationship means you're living together, you have children together, you're married, you're engaged, or you've talked very seriously about how you're each other's person and you're planning your lives together. Okay, or you've been together for many years. So with Mercury retrograde in the 7th house, some of you may be talking to an ex again. You may even be reconciling with a previous partner, or perhaps you are simply gaining closure and clarity about why a relationship ended or just where that person stands. Maybe you're even finding a way to become friends again and navigate your relationship in a totally, different dynamic to what you previously had. On a different note though, for those of you who are in a relationship, maybe this is the two of you talking about your future and looking at how you can be aligned and get on the same page. Mercury retrograde in the 7th house is amazing for that. And for others of you, even if you're single, this could indicate that you are maybe having conversations or being reacquainted with someone that you used to have feelings for, or maybe you are realizing that you do have deeper feelings for someone that you thought was just a friend or who you previously weren't interested in. Now, with the full moon in your first house on the 9th of August, this could be a time where you are realizing your true feelings for another person. And on one level, this could be like, okay, I have feelings for them and I didn't realize. But on a different level, even if you're in a relationship, it could be that you have a light bulb moment. So maybe you are unsure about the person and you're like, yes, this is the one. Or maybe you've been together for a while and you're like, this isn't it, and I think I need to end things. I do believe that it would be your decision because the full moon is in your sign. So if you're going down that route, perhaps it's coming from you. But in any case, with the Venus-Jupiter conjunction occurring on the 12th of August in your 12th house, for those of you who are single, maybe you're finding love in the workplace. And lastly, as it relates to love and relationships, Venus entering your 7th house from the 25th/26th of August onwards portends good things for your love life, essentially. So you can be feeling more attractive, feeling more magnetic, maybe going on more dates, or just feeling like you are ready to open yourself up to that area of your life again, especially if you've been single for a while or experienced some kind of heartbreak previously. Again, I repeat, there's this big activation to your 7th house. So it looks like somehow this part of your life is coming back online. Of course, this is a general reading, so just take it as it resonates. There's absolutely nothing here to say that everyone has to find love and be in a relationship. If you're happily single and you want to keep it that way, just disregard the above. So lastly for the month, what I wanted to bring to your attention is that there's a big activation to your 9th house. So you've got Mars in Libra there from the 9th of August through till the 21st of September. So this could indicate that you are focused on travel, education, or perhaps there are legal matters that you have to attend to. And also, for the first half of the month, Saturn, which is one of your ruling planets, is going to get as close as possible to a conjunction with Neptune in Aries in your 3rd house. And this conjunction will be exact in February 2026, but as it relates to August, the 3rd house represents anything to do with communications, and it's also a business house and a very social house. So some of you may be looking at putting together some kind of communications piece. So this could be starting a podcast, developing an app, writing a book, starting a business, developing a website, or creating a course, or maybe looking at educating yourself. So that could be in the way of a diploma or a degree or getting some kind of qualification or license. So definitely pay attention to whatever is happening during the month of August, because this could be something that serves you for years to come, especially because this is a new 29.5-year cycle with Saturn being in Aries, and it's literally like a 2.5-3-year transit. If you want to know more about it, you can check out my Saturn in Aries video that's on my channel, plus my Neptune in Aries video that's also on my channel. And in the month of August, Saturn and Neptune will both make exact sextiles to Uranus in Gemini in your 5th house, which is very rare on both levels. So I do think that there's something huge coming through in the way of a creative project or a startup, or maybe like an entrepreneurial idea that you have. So Aquarius, that's all I have for you for August. If you enjoyed this horoscope, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content on the channel, hit the subscribe button. And if you're wanting more content, or let's say astrological updates between now and my next batch of videos, you can subscribe to my Instagram and or Facebook pages, which are just Castrology, same as this one. Enjoy your month ahead, Aquarius, and I'll see you guys in September.